The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We'll be right up with the show in just a minute here. We're going to start off with the DAX like we usually do. We started off with the daily and then went down to the 60-minute. That's what's caused, I guess, the sell-off in the stock market. I think those are bad prices, though, folks, because I don't think the red lights work in the markets in New York anymore, but one never knows, so we'll see. We'll talk a little bit about the market a little bit later on, but before we do that, we've had a request from one of our favorite people to talk a little bit about natural gas. And since I know quite a bit about natural gas because I have so much of it, we'll take a look here. And you'll notice that we've had a pretty big move here off of that 3 drive to a bottom pattern, as you can see. And what's important with that, folks, if you look closely, we took out the lows of the previous 2 months and didn't go anywhere with a really big move down. It looked like it was going to go down forever. And what did it do? It changed directions the next day. Folks, when that happens, that is such a bullish thing that you really have to pay really close attention to it. It really is important. And then we had the gap, 4 days ago. That's a sign that we're most probably heading a whole lot higher. We're already above the 61% retracement. So this natural gas contract is looking pretty good. So we'll keep a close eye on this down the road to see where we get to. But right now, there's nothing after this 61% retracement. All we have is the up about another 8 cents is the 78% level, and that should give us a little bit of resistance. But with that gap, that gap is a big unknown, so we really don't know what's going to happen with it. So you got to remember, gaps are big unknowns. So that's telling you that you don't know what's going on. What's important about the natural gas contract, folks, is on that big wide-ranging bar down, the next day there was a change in the continuity of thought. In other words, people that thought natural gas was going to go down forever, the ones that really count, the big players, they said, oh, we made a mistake in here, and they immediately, reversed their position. So that's how I read that. Whether that is the way to read it or not, I'm not sure, but that's what I'm looking for. Remember, tomorrow we're going to have Adrienne Togaray from Trading on Target as our guest. She is one of the premier psychologists in trading in the USA and has been doing it for many, many years. And she's always got some great information. The one thing that I always remember when I was in Commodity Corp, many years ago, I would go, it was in the early 70s, before I ever worked with him. I worked with him in 84, 85, but in the early 70s when Amos was still alive, my best friend Jay Crosp, he actually was dating the secretary to Helmut, Elaine, and we would go back there and visit, and on Amos's desk he had 3 little rocks, and his grandkids evidently had painted on there 3 words. The first one was never. On the next rock, it was always, and the third rock said hope. And he said those are the 3 words you never want to think about when you're trading anything. He said, because it's never, never, and it's not always, always, and hope is the last thing you want to depend on, because you have to react to yourself, to protect yourself. So I don't have the rocks on my desk, but I sure remember the words. Anyway, let's take a look here at what I think is happening in one of these markets that is very important, and it's affecting a great number of things. Here's what we were looking at in the U.S. dollar at the beginning of the week. Let's just take a look here. You'll see it here. We were looking, because we had that big wide range on the previous Friday, you'll notice that we had a price target up here at 95.70, but something really interesting happening on the way to the barn, folks. Let me show you what happened. It's very, very unusual, but we'll just get it up here so you can see it. There we go. These charts look very similar, but they are different. The reason why is I put the last couple of days in. You'll notice yesterday we took out the previous day's high in the dollar index by one tick. It was 95.06 back on the 25th of October. And yesterday we took it out at 95.07, and it didn't go anywhere. That corresponded to the low in the euro at the 115. What do you call it? The 115. 115.55, and that from then, of course, we had a pretty good rally in the euro. We'll just show you what the euro did from that level. We'll just bring it up here so you can take a look at it, because this is related to what's going on in gold. That's why we've had this pretty big move in gold. You'll see the move down there at that 115.55. That was also a 1.618 expansion. It was a minor 3-drive pattern, and then this morning we've had that ABCD pattern that went right up to a Gartley at 116.40. We've come down about 40 pips from that level. So this market, to get bullish, has to get above the 114. Excuse me. Let's try that again. We must get above that 116.40 with a little bit of power, at least 116.70, in order to change this to the downside. That's one of the reasons why we've had this little rally in gold, but I'm very, very skeptical of the rally in gold, boys and girls. This is something is not right in River City, and let's just take a look at it here, because I want to show you the difference between what's really happening here and what is going on. And if I can only find it, I already did it. Shut the front door and raise the rent. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Doggone it, Larry. Shut the front door. Where is it? You know what? I can't find it. I want to show you the silver chart. I got it. Bear with me. It didn't take me very long. Hold on just a second here. And let's just put this up. Let's just put this here. You'll see that silver is lagging really badly. I mean, we barely made a 50% retracement of yesterday's high, whereas gold took it out. Regarding the Bitcoin, we're going to be doing a seminar, or actually John Jameson is going to be doing it. I'm going to host it for TFNN. Folks, you really ought to pay attention to what this guy has to say, because he was one of the first people in the internet business. That's how he made his fortune. He says what Bitcoin is doing now is what the internet was in 1992. And so I think you got to pay attention to it. It hit 7,800 yesterday. It trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, he's a little bit past Al Gore, and he's one heck of a nice guy. But he's a hell of a lot smarter than Al Gore, I can tell you that. But he really understands what's going on with this stuff, and this stuff that's going on is really different, folks. This is not, I have been very skeptical of it, but the more you get into it, and you listen to what he has to say, he makes a very good case. Now, the reason why Bitcoin jumped up so much recently is there was supposed to be a meeting on the 13th of November where they were going to decide, what was going to be the fate of Bitcoin, and evidently that meeting is canceled. I don't understand what that meant or anything, but it's going to be, you're right, Al. Al is pretty good. Anyway, of course, he learned from his boss, who was a real professional. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhoades, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we've been asked to take a look at the live cattle market. This is a very important chart here for live cattle that we're looking at this morning. The reason why is the fact that we had the big move up there to 1.27, which was also a 1.618 expansion from the high in late July. And also there was a gap there, you'll notice here on the 25th of October. And what we've done now is we backed off over the last 5 days, has brought this down into this level of around 120. So we're trading at roughly 123 right now. So we really want to watch cattle at around the 120 level, because if they break below that, that tells you that this major 1.27 is a really significant high, and we might be getting ready to go lower. We're seeing the same pattern in the Christmas hogs, if you'll do Twentyman's favorite thing. And I'm going to look at crude oil in just a minute, Matt, but I want to finish the cattle first. We have to eat the meat before we get the level here on the cattle. But anyway, around the 121 level is where you want to watch the cattle. That's down about 2.5, 3 cents. Yeah, 120, 120. That's where the old high was back there, going back in July. So keep an eye on that. That's down about 5 days. But anything below that would make it, pretty bearish, I would think. But right now, it's still in a bullish mode, just having a little bit of a correction. Crude oil is a really interesting one, folks. Let's just take a minute here. We've got quite a bit of time here where we can cover crude oil. This is what we were looking at yesterday. Nothing really different has happened, but hold on one second. There's my little camera. And what I want you to take a look at here is this over the past, year almost. And you'll notice here, when we're looking at this, you're seeing the double, actually a triple ABCD pattern up here. Now, look, you can see where we were here. Hold on just a second here. I'm trying to do too many things at once. You'll notice that, we'll see. Hold on one second here. I got to correct an order, otherwise I'm going to be able to do this. Hold on a second here. Anyway, you'll notice the gap up that we had here on Monday, actually Sunday night. That gap comes in at 55.65. Folks, if we get below 55.65, That's a buck away from where we are right now. This is going to be a false breakout. In other words, just breakout above 56. And remember, the targets came really close to it. I mean, they were really pretty much spot on here. Let's just bring them up here. You'll take a look. We were looking at around 56.80. We got to 57.40 or something like that. So that's pretty close. That's very, very close. So all I know is it's got to get below 55.65, which was the low we made on Sunday night after the gap up. There's a gap there, folks, from 55.64. It gapped to 55.65 and came down to try to fill that gap, and it didn't. So that's an important gap. That means if we go below that, and I don't know if this is common sense or what do you want to call it, but that means that everybody that bought crude oil from Sunday to whenever it goes below there has got a loss. That's not a good thing. So it breaks, Warren Buffett's two favorite rules of trading. Don't lose money is rule number one. Rule number two, don't break rule number one. So that means everybody that bought it would have a loss in it, and that's not a good thing. And believe me, there's a lot of things going on over there in Saudi Arabia that we don't understand. The dude that's taken over is 32 years old. And I understand from listening to somebody on Bloomberg yesterday, he's a pretty tough hombre to work with. And he doesn't have any allegiance to anyone. And he wants to change Saudi Arabia's, culture. He wants women to drive and vote and things like that. I think they should start with allowing them to, cook and clean and do I better shut up, Larry. You're going to be in big trouble. That was a joke, boys and girls. That was a joke. Let's forget about it. All right, let's take a look here at one of the currencies that we follow. Last night we had a really good rally here in the dollar yen, and I just wanted to show you the parallel channels that were there. We're having a really good rally up there at that 114 level, and then soon as we hit that 114 level, boys and girls, it was on the way down, and that was something that you didn't want to no, I'll tell you, it's I have two daughters, so I have to be really careful, because if I say something, and I always say it in jest, because listen, I was really close to my mother. That no son was ever closer to the mother than I was. My mother was only 15 years older than me, so it was we were almost like brother and sister, but she was still my mom. Anyway, unfortunately, I lost her when she was very, very young. So anyway, let's move on. What were we talking about? Oh, the yen. So it came down and stopped. This is why we're watching this dollar index. If the dollar index can get above that 95.10 level, then you're going to see the euro, crashing down more and more. But until that happens, it's probably going to be in an area where it's going to be looking at, some support. Right now, all we're looking at in the euro is the fact that it's making, I believe, a 78% retracement of the low we made yesterday. Let's just double check that. And let's at 61%. It's making a 61% retracement there. So we need to get that below that level, and then it would give it a better time to look at it. All right, boys and girls, let's get on to the nitty-gritty, the thing that I hate to talk about the most. That's these darn Treasury bonds. They missed our price level by 2 ticks yesterday, and we have to blame Mr. Z for that, because I understand from my friends down on the floor that doesn't exist anymore that Mr. Z had an order in there that was so big the floor couldn't handle it there at 154.26, and now we're trading a full handle under it. And I better stop making jokes, otherwise I'm going to get into more trouble than I already am. I got an email yesterday from someone for listening to the TFNN show, and he said, I really enjoy your show, but it's time for you to grow up. Stop using this Billy Ray Valentine stuff. And, this is not the thing for an adult to do when you're doing a radio show. Then, what I thought I was going to do? I said I better shut up, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. My favorite scene in that movie, and there's a lot of favorite scenes that I like, is when he's in the jail, and he's in with these guys, and he's telling him, that he's a karate man. The karate man bleeds on the inside. And then these two dudes are getting ready to really take care of him. And he climbs up on the bars and he says, do you know who you're messing with? Up on the 9th floor in cell number 3? And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm just trying to be funny, folks. This is a tough gig to do this. I got an hour trying to tell you, some of the things that I'm seeing, and half of the stuff that I tell you about doesn't come true. So just remember that. Anyway, I have one other thing about this, and then I will end it. We had an unfortunate death in the family a few years ago, and all of the kids got together. All the kids they went to school with and stuff were there, and I had 4 of those kids come up to me and said, "You know why we like you so much, Mr. P?" And I said, "Why is that?" They said, "You were the only parent that never grew up." And that's probably right. I was still riding motorcycles at 72, but no more. Anyway, that's the way it goes. Anyway, try to live fast, love hard, die young, and make a good-looking corpse. And the person that can tell me who said that in the movies wins a prize. 877-927-66.
Larry Pesavento and John Jameson are teaming up for a live hour-long webinar Wednesday, November 15th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, titled The Hidden Secrets Behind Trading and Investing in Cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are some of the most volatile trading markets in the world right now, and this is a webinar that you will not want to miss. In this live 60-minute webinar, John and Larry will discuss a variety of topics, including where cryptocurrencies trade and how to get started, how to recognize supply and demand in cryptocurrencies, and the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and why knowing this one piece of information puts you in the top 1% of cryptocurrency traders, as well as many more topics. Visit the front page of TFNN.com for all the information and to sign up today for Fibonacci 24/7, and we'll see you Wednesday, November 15th for the hidden secrets behind trading and investing in cryptocurrencies. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. We were chatting here about that saying about live fast, love hard, die young, and make a good-looking corpse. It was from a movie by John Derrick, Knock on Any Door. I don't remember. 1949, I believe. Anyway, many folks might not know this, but that's what the Navy SEALs use as their logo. And we play poker here in Arizona, up at the in Scottsdale at the Talking Stick Resort, and there is a ex-Navy SEAL in the group there that plays, and he has 2 tattoos, folks. On his left arm it says, "My business is killing," and on his right arm it says, "Business is good." And believe me, and people just, it was really strange because, he tells a story about, he doesn't say what he did, of course, but he certainly was a Navy SEAL. He had all the identification and everything. Anyway, let's move on and get on to the next thing of what we're looking at. And we'll go on to talk about the, what do we have, the second half of the show already? All righty, we got the market down just a little bit today, just a little burp. A little agita, as they say in Italy. You notice the Dow Jones. Look at these gaps that we have here, folks. We've got 6 gaps going on. We did make a new high again this week. We did not make a new high in the IWM. That was the only one that did not make a new high, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. When the market opens lower like this in an up week, buying usually comes in. If buying doesn't come in and we get below 23,000 in the YM, the E-mini Dow Jones, then I would think that the correction will probably last a few days. If not, maybe that was the major top. I don't really know. Last night, right after they opened in Asia, you'll notice that we had a pretty big rally there. We had double ABCD patterns right at the 78% retracement at 23,500, and now we've broken down. As you can see this morning, we've had a pretty big move to the downside. We took out those lows. I haven't updated this because I'll get this up here so we can see it. But we did go and we completed the ABCD pattern there that you can see. That took us down to 23,800, I believe. No, it wasn't even that much. 23,900, I believe. And so if we get below that, then we maybe have a chance for some type of correction. But who knows? I'm not sure how much it's going to be, or even if it's going to come. That's all I know. I know these things really good short term, but long term predictions, this one has shaken the old apple tree. Let me tell you, folks, I never seen the market do what it's never done this before. 58 new highs in the month, in a year. Gee whiz. I mean, that's like 10 times normal, I think. But, we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with it. Let's just get back to these notes and bonds and what do we do with them? That's the $64 question. All right. Here's the notes. We were missed it by 2 ticks on the notes. We missed it by 2 ticks on the bonds and 3 ticks on the notes. This is a 382 retracement in the notes, folks. It's a 135 pattern. This is such a bearish chart. It's just really bearish. How do we handle it? It's going to be tough, and I'll tell you why, because it's dropping so quickly. And what you'd like to do is you'd like to see it, we're trading now, the bonds got all the way down to 153.25. That's a full handle down. So what we want to do now is we want to be able to see the market rally up and give us a chance to maybe sell it if we could get it sold maybe about 154.20. Maybe rally a point from where we are right here. Now, what would make the market rally a point? Well, the only thing I could think of would be a pseudo flight to quality as stock sold off for 2 days or something like that. That's the main thing. I am just, spitballing here, seeing what's going to happen. Anyway, let's take a quick look here at this gold market. We took out yesterday's high by 10 cents. I didn't believe that was going to be a real good breakout because of what we just discussed in silver a little while ago. And so I think we're still heading down in the gold and the silver. I don't know where the bottom's going to be, but unless we can get silver moving, I don't think gold's going to be able to hold its own against it, even though the gold is much, much bigger in open interest and volume and everything. But, silver had been leading the pack, and it's not leading anymore. And I think that's something that we need to, to sort of focus on. That's the way I look at it. Okay, question that we have here was about the heating oil. Heating oil looks just like I posted all those charts. You didn't see the Dow Jones chart? I thought I posted Saudi currency. I really don't look at the Saudi currency at all. I know that the market over there sold off a bit, but I don't do the Saudi currency. I can't even remember what it was. I've been to Riyadh, and I've been to oh shucks, where's the other place? Well, I've been to let me see. I've been to Kuwait. I've been to Bahrain. I've been to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and I've been to Riyadh. I wanted to go to Mecca, but I couldn't go. It's a real. That's correct. That's exactly what it is. But I don't know what it. That's something I've never traded. I don't really know. That's the bottom line. So we'll see what's going on. The stocks are actually holding up. Here on the open, we have a nice little rally going in the Dow Jones E-mini. It's given, it's taken some of the selling back up, and we're having a pretty good move here in the. Nothing in the Nasdaq. It's not even a dead cat. Well, it's up 10 points. It's not really very much. So it's still, a bit early, be looking at it. Folks, if you wanted to call in today and maybe ask me a question, it's 877-927-6648. That's what I would do if I were you, if you have a question. If you don't have a question, don't call in, because I would just make up the answer anyway. Let's take a look here at this Dow Jones E-mini and try to find a place to maybe nibble at the short side if you have that in your environment to trade. Let's just move it down from the high down to the low. Wow, that's very interesting here. I'm going to sneeze here in just a second. Keep an eye on the 23,450, folks. That's 38 points from where we are in the Dow. We don't get any above that. That's a 382 retracement of that whole move. And if the market's bearish, and God help us if it's bearish, because when it does come, it's going to be very nasty. It's not going to get much above that. So watch the 2340 and the Dow E-mini futures. The Nasdaq is so wow. I mean, I don't even know if it could make it through. Yeah, it could. Oh, are you kidding me? That they can do it easy. Let's just do the Nasdaq number here. Oh, that's a beautiful. That's actually, the Nasdaq one is even clearer, and that's at 6310 in the Nasdaq. That's the old low that we made yesterday. We'd go back and test that low on a rally. That would be an interesting one to watch. So those are the two that I'd be watching. Be 2350 in the Dow Jones E-mini, and it's also at 6310 in the Dow Jones. Let's just bring this up so you folks can see it. Let's just give me a second here. I can do that. Hold on just a minute here. We can do that. I think I can anyway. Hold on, boys and girls. Let's just see if we can get a chart here. Hey, we got a caller from Philly, Mr. Z. What's up, buddy? Oh, we got to pay a few bills. Can you stay with us?
I certainly can. Yes, indeed.
God bless you, my friend. Stay with us.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we got a caller from Philadelphia. John, are you still there?
I am still here, sir. Thanks for indulging me again.
Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. It helps me do my subject matter because I run out of things to say. Go ahead, my friend. What can I help you with?
Yeah, doing my best. Yesterday, in fact, I asked you a question about the S&P index futures. Specifically, I'll just restate it. I asked, is there a price that you see on the ESE contract, if which it declines under, signals a top to you? So that was the question I had, and I just wanted to share with you, just as I was staring at the charts long the past 24 hours, I just observed that ever since August 21st, that bottom, and of course that was a decisive bottom, and so more importantly, it occurred precisely on the new moon solar eclipse day, August 21st, and of course we've been higher since. And it's not been straight up. There's been, 1 and 2 and 3 day setbacks clearly, and I observe just a real simple rally pattern: higher lows, higher highs. And the past 2 swing lows that I see on that ES chart are 25.62, then I think 25.42. So the answer I come up with my own question is, can't conceive of any top being in until we at least break the first swing low, which is 62, and more importantly, the second swing low, which is 42. And that's my observation to my own question. Can you put any more meat on the bones on that subject, on that question, looking for evidence of a change in trend in this ESZ contract?
Well, the only thing I can, at least talk about is, in cycle theory, if you have a major cycle like certainly occurred on that August 21st eclipse, when that is broken, that tells you that the trend of the market has changed, down. If you remember in 2007 on August the 15th, the market was down over 400 points that day. The Dow was down 400, but the Russell was actually unchanged on the day, and the Nasdaq was down only marginally, but the Dow was getting hit really badly, and then of course it started to turn. Well, if you put a circle on that chart on August the 15th of 2007, once we broke that, and that happened to be a big cycle day too, and once we broke that started the whole thing to the downside. So I would have to agree with you. If we take out that August 21st low, we're looking at something that is going to be, all I know is, John, that it's going to be a whole lot worse in 2008 because we've never had these figures up here like this. I mean, there's so much complacency and so much lack of fear that I've been doing this for 6 decades, and I've never seen it this bad, and they never end good, so we'll see. But I would say August 21st, when we take that out, you're certainly looking at something that is really, really nasty.
Thanks for sharing that thought. I was just thinking while looking at the charts in your commentary, something that is relevant, topical, and current is the signals coming off of your friend Tommy DeMarc's work. I know Tommy lives out in your neck of the woods in the country, and I had the honor of being introduced to him back in 1985 by a fellow that was close friends with Tom DeMarc, and his name was Joey Generalis. He was at First Boston at the time.
I remember Joey. Yes, I do. Yeah, Tom lives up in Scottsdale in a 10,000 square foot double wide trailer. He's got an incredible home up there. I mean, he's got 2 Bentleys in his garage or in his driveway, so he does okay.
Good for him. That's great. That's a great little story. Anyway, back to Tommy DeMarc. Of course, he invented and created something he calls the sequential system. And back in the 70s or 80s, when he did invent that, his objective, as I understand it, was to attempt to find a tool that could give you a sell signal or a buy signal of a market that was strongly trending. In other words, a raging bull market or a raging bear market, and give a signal not after the fact, but right as it was occurring. Anyway, that is, at least as was described to me, Tommy DeMarc's system. Now, I will tell you this. Back on September 15th, that was a Friday, Tommy, for some reason, people at Bloomberg Television got a hold of him and said, Tommy, tell us what your counts are. And he said, well, I'm on the verge of getting a sequential sell on the S&P. That was Friday the 15th. Then Monday, was that the 15th? Friday the 15th? Yeah, Friday the 15th. Then the very next week, the S&P exploded higher. And what Tommy did not say on that interview, and what nobody talked about thereafter, was that week of the 18th through the 22nd, I think was the date, his system gave a recycle higher count. So if Tommy would have picked the top, he would have reversed it and gone long just because that recycle higher signal. I will tell you, Larry, I was maintaining the counts on the Dow cash, the S&P cash, and the NASDAQ 100, and they've all given sequential sells within the past 5 days on that daily chart. And the Dow chart, the Dow weekly chart, gave a sequential sell as well. So if there's any time to pick a change, a trend, that system would say do it now.
Well, I have to agree with it. I'm looking at the gaps that are in the Dow. We've never seen anything like this before. We've completed all the ABCD patterns. And of course, the big one in Apple, Apple made new highs, making 900 billion capitalization yesterday, but that's still a 3-drive pattern on the weekly, in my opinion. So, the first time we see it move more than 400 points down in the Dow, I think you're going to know for sure that the market's on its way down.
Terrific. Thanks for that exchange. And I will also tell you, I thank you for providing your look-see on that natural gas futures chart that you show right off the top. That's very helpful to me. I appreciate it.
Well, it certainly looks good from a technical standpoint with that gap up and everything. It looks like it's got legs. It certainly does. Of course, these markets have a tendency to reverse right away sometimes. So just sort of pay attention to it. It would be a big reversal if it went back below those gaps right now. It just looks awfully powerful.
One last thing, I'll just add an observation.
Take your time, my friend. Take your time.
It has nothing to do with forecasting, but I look back at the past 18 months on the daily chart for natural gas and observe that from the first week of November 2016, the natural gas contract then made a low near $2.60, $2.70. And in 7 weeks' time, it went up to $3.90, just straight up.
Okay, hey, listen, my friend, thanks for calling in, and we really appreciate it, John.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhoades, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I wanted to bring a chart up to show you that we were just talking about with Mr. Z here on TFNN. This is a chart of the high in the market. I want you to look at point A there. That was August the 15th. That's when the market had its last run up where it made a slightly higher high on October the 7th, and from then it gave up better than 70% of its value. So what he was talking about, that eclipse day of August 21st with the S&P down there at around, I guess it's, I don't even know the exact price he was telling me about. I think it's 23.40 or something, whatever. So whenever we go below that August low, we're going to be looking at something that is going to be, pretty negative. That's the way it looks like. But that's a long way to go. Watch for the first move of 400 points in, then you'll be able to see where we're going. But right now, we're selling off a little bit, and believe me, it's the shorts are absolutely scared to death. So don't be surprised if you don't see some type of a bounce. And remember, we have that huge ABCD pattern down there not very much lower than where we are right now here in the NASDAQ, and about 50 points lower in the Dow. It would put the Dow down about 150 to 160. So if we get below 200 points in the Dow, then this thing is all breaking, and it's going to go down a whole lot more. So we'll have to wait and see if that is in fact going to happen. Keep an eye on the crude oil too, because if we get below that 55, 65, that's going to be a weekly reversal. I'd like to see it happen on Friday, not on a Thursday. Right now it's holding up okay, but these markets have a tendency to change quite a bit. We're trading at around 56.89. We're about one handle away. 55.80, 55.60, and that crude oil would be something. We're getting a little bit of a bounce now in bonds. That's probably a little flight to quality, the fact that we're down in the stocks, but watch it. Anyway, live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.